Ready?
So, Jules,
So Diane,
what's happening this season?
there's lots of new things happening. This season what I've wanted to do with the collection, it's called Il Futuro, but 2, sort of like The Godfather, part 2. But basically what I wanted to do was sort of give the collection new additions and to change the way people can perceive it just as fine jewelry, but also adding in new details like black diamonds, like I can show you here. This is my most popular selling silhouette right now. This is my knuckle ring. It's intended to go over and under your knuckle with some 4-prong settings and black diamonds. And then what we do with this silhouette is we stack a smaller version on top. And in French I call this le grimpeur, which means the climber, because to me it looks like there's an otherworldly animal climbing up the back of your finger.
How comfortable is it?
Super comfortable, and it's just like the handlet. The design theory is based on focusing on a different part of your body, so it's not, of course it's your finger, but it's actually focusing on your joints in your finger. And so by making the piece intersect in only one place, in the back, it means that your body is allowed to move in between. So it's actually super, super comfortable. And I wear these every day, just as I do this. This is like what I go to sleep in. So it's so weird, because as a jeweler, you get so comfortable with what you're wearing. It's becomes a part of you. And that's a special thing about jewelry in particular, I think, but with a lot of these items, it's a very tender placement, and we think about the coverage of the body in different places. So then I also have done different versions of this series. So here is a little chain. You can see that here also. Voila. So this is matte gold, high shine silver, and then I also have a matte white gold, and this is a new silhouette as well. Because the collection is called Il Futuro, it's a statement about how my archival collections have served as basic silhouettes to continue to build the collection as a total. So I introduced new colorways like matte white gold and matte yellow gold to sort of make the impression of a future color. So it's not just about high shine, which would be the normal representation of gold and silver, but it's about changing the way people perceive the jewelry, and especially the fine fashion jewelry. And so I also created a new piece this season with another jewelry designer who, like me, anticipates in the jewelry movement, paying attention to different parts of the body. And her name is Viva Harslov. And basically taking the position of the handlet and interpreting it a bit differently. So it's implementing the ring and the bracelet. But this is called a hand brace. So you put it on.
By David Cronenberg.
And then here in the back, you connect. And it's actually moldable. A lot of my work can move, and that is a special part of the design because jewelry can move. It's just like your personality. You can change. You can embrace change. So what I'm doing here is trying to influence people to understand the basic building blocks of jewelry. Because if you understand the basics of its fabrication, then you'll understand better how to wear it and how to present yourself. So with this piece, it's actually bendable. And you bend it until you're comfortable. And then this piece, also that theory follows throughout a lot of my pieces in the collection. And this is another new piece that does quite a similar kind of thing. And this piece is an ear cuff with a raw cut black opal. And so what I'm doing here is putting it around the ear,
Well, all the stuff that you've been
but still in it.
I
got it right.
So when you make the color, you ask
You've always liked things around the ear, no?
Yeah, I feel like with jewelry I'm constantly trying to redefine the standards and the definitions. So at some point I was like, okay, well, what defines an earring? And an earring has a special piece that's highlighted, right? Like this.
And most canary diamonds are actually
This is the highlight. This is what people see.
to make the
This is what you don't see, but this is the sharp point that pierces through the skin. So taking those just basic concepts, I said, okay, well, I'll make something that people can see, and I'll make it sharp, but I'll make it not go through the skin, so it goes around. Because every human being, every body has this part of your ear, which has never been paid attention to other than piercing it. So what I wanted to do is actually hug it, embrace it. And so you can also sort of bend it to fit the shape of the back of your head. And this, I love this color.
part of me feels like we should.
And what I really wanted to do with some of the new colorways was to bring blue and greens into it.
That I don't, but I don't know.
Because for me, I found as I've been traveling in the air and on the water, and I found that I was
My private clients.
severely influenced by the movement of water and its calming effect, and how I feel super connected to the movement of the water and the color. And the color is really, really, really inspiring. So what I did was I created a trifecta series of blue stones. So we have a round brilliant cut, that's a classic shape in jewelry today, and then two smaller ones. And this, to me, is my interpretation of depth and surface. Because I dive really, really deep with my concepts, but I have to make them rest on the surface of the body. So this is sort of like my sort of subconscious trying to communicate with all of my clients without them really knowing. And that's another reason why I chose this stone, because there's so many different layers to it and textures. So there's blues, there's greens, there's refracted light. So all of this is the same quality of moving water, and that's where I get a lot of my inspiration. And with that, you can see these blues. And then I also created this piece, because with Il Futuro, what I wanted it to be, it's inspired by the future. It's using my past to represent the present, but also keep pushing the boundaries of jewelry for the future. And so this piece is called an armlet, and basically it's sort of taking the concept of a shoulder blade, which is here, and bringing it here. My arm's a little bit too big for this, but basically it creates a silhouette on top of your body that takes attention away from the top and brings it to the mid-arm section. Sort of like those classic Egyptian coiled snake armbands, but this one's really out there and forward-thinking.
I can pull it up on my laptop.
And then also with the chains from earlier, I also put it on this guy, so even this could be on yours, Miss Diane. But this sort of starts to tell a more dainty story. So I'm using different influences here. So it's about suspension, it's about being feminine and being more dainty with objects that I've already created. So you see there's this sort of special lightness that I've added this season, but also the new colorways and sort of bringing the depth of underwater to the surface of our body.
Are you a Pisces?
No,
When's your birthday? Scorpio.
I'm a Capricorn. What does that mean?
Kept good in business.
Oh. Very nice. That's good to even look forward to, right? We manifest our futures here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are some of the new additions to the collection.
And what's going on here?
Where are we looking? Here? Here,
Turned to gold.
yeah. So here is my rock collection, because as I journey through life and design pieces, I gather information from my own experiences. And I was in Berlin running around and found these beautiful pieces of rock. So this is actually pyrite that I found in nature. And what I wanted to say about this rock collection is that nature's imperfections are perfect. So by highlighting the flaws and the inclusions in all of these stones, it actually brings to light the real true beauty of the objects. And so you can see here that this is a piece of pyrite from Madagascar. You can see its flaw. And then the new interpretation of this shape for the new collection is Il Futuro. For the Il Futuro collection, is super sharp. It's super basic. And the thought here is that it's not exactly smooth, but it's not exactly sharp. And basically, what you wear on the outside of your ear will never be touched by anything. So it's, we could put something super, super sharp there and it won't interrupt with your daily wear. And then, of course, with all of these things, when you make jewelry, there's certain foundations, certain basic ways of fabricating the piece. And so what I want to do as I design pieces, I want my clients to understand the way that they're made, because then they'll start to understand the creative process for me, which is truly the most important part of being a designer and an artist. It's being able to have a unique idea and concept and for it to be able to be translated to the common. And so we go from a super basic stud to 22 karat gold contact lenses to so you can see better to articulated rings with nails in them. And it's all about, translating my experience into fine metals. And here we have the new cocktail rings. And I wanted to bring some color, as you see with the blue and with the raw black opal. I wanted to bring the attention up, the definition of a cocktail ring. If you can imagine the woman, she's a woman that wants everyone to watch her. And so a cocktail ring is about being at a party and you're the beauty of the show. And so you wear a huge, ostentatious ring. But what I wanted to do was bring the direction from here to the top. And this also is squeezed to fit. So this is amethyst. This is pink sapphire in rose gold. This is an emerald cut. Not an emerald, but an emerald cut. And this is an emerald. It's the shape.
Wow.
But basically what I've done is I reinterpreted its setting and I flipped it upside down. So now you can see the depth. So once again, it's a story about bringing the underneath to the surface. So flipping it doesn't change the value of the stone, it changes the interpretation of what it was supposed to be. And so these, to me, they feel like candy. This is green gold, by the way. And super tiny for my super tiny fingers. And then this one is another emerald cut stone, and this is faceted black onyx. To me, it's like haute gamme, high-end bubblegum, these guys. And this is another upside-down quartz. So you can build and stack, and you can always add on to your personal style. So everything here you can mix. I really, really push mixing colors, mixing shapes, mixing where you're putting them on your body. Because we have so much body, and we have so much potential to cover it or to embellish it. So we have to take advantage of them. And so that's what I'm doing, providing the tools